Hey everybody, it's Miss Hildreth again with another video. Students will read a passage about the Justinian Code. So we're going to read and discuss it together. And then you will answer some questions that are located on a Google form. There's a link. So there's a link for the article, there's a link for the Google form, and there'll be a link for the video. So here's your article. Here's the form. You'll fill out the questions. Okay, so let's get started. Justinian Code. The Justinian Code was the name given to the compilation or codification of all Roman laws as directed by the Roman Emperor. Justinian, a committee of 10 men. Bear with me, I just wanted to look at something. I had to open up my binder because I made notes on mine. Okay, so let me start all over. The Justinian Code was the name given to a compilation or codification of all the Roman laws directed by Emperor Justinian. You're like, what does that mean? So basically, that was the Justinian Code was, they had a bunch of Roman laws. Justinian decided to compile them and organize them. So it's the act of arranging a law. A committee of 10 men were ordered to review more than 1,600 books of the Roman laws and reorganize and simplify the law. The result was 4 volumes with just over 4,000 laws. The code makes clear, so notable aspects of the Justinian Code. Now, I will be honest with you, we're going to actually talk about, and on the right-hand side, we're going to actually go over the volumes. So the code makes clear that there were no separation of church and state. Orthodoxy was the state of religion, and anyone who did not embrace it was not considered a citizen. So religion was very important in their life in the Byzantine Empire. There were distinctly anti-Semitic laws forbidding Jews from holding public office or testifying against Christians. Slaves were in the power of their masters and had no property rights, but masters could not simply abuse or kill their slaves without legal ramifications. So they had to respect them. Now, did they always do that? Probably not, but law said, and if they got caught, they could be punished. The code specifies the exact requirements for marriage. Cousins are allowed to marry, but brothers and sisters, even stepbrothers and stepsisters, are not. So, yes, I know. Go ahead, think what you want to think. The code also details property rights. For the most part, finders keepers, as long as the property was discovered on neutral ground. The other determinant to ownership was land. Whoever owned the land also owned the structures on the land. So if someone builds a house on your land, you would be deemed owner. Okay. Interesting laws, huh? Okay, so that gives you kind of an idea of what the Justinian Code was. Now we're going to kind of jump into the volumes. So there were 4 volumes. Volume 1, Codex Justinianus. This was the bulk of the legal code. It simplified and reorganized all previous Roman laws and included recently passed Justinian laws. These laws defined both public and private law on issues of citizenship, marriage, rights of inheritance. Now, if you're like, what is inheritance? Inheritance is something that, like money, property, things that you receive after someone passes away. Slavery, property ownership, as well as criminal acts and punishment. Volume 2, Digesta. This was the collection of legal rulings and opinions, interpretations of the law. It might be most similar to a collection of legal rulings and briefs by the Supreme Court. So this was actually like previous rulings. I'll give you an example. Right now in the Supreme Court, there's a young lady who was on a cheer squad. She didn't make the team, I think. And so she posted some things on social media outside of school. The school tried punishing her. Now it's been taken to the Supreme Court, and they're going to make a ruling on it. Now, if there were previous rulings, that would be in a collection that would be in volume 2 of the Digesta. Volume 3 is Institutiones. This was a textbook that would be used and studied primarily by law students. It had 4 books, and the last book was an instruction manual for jurors. Okay, volume 4 is Novella. This volume was for the new laws passed after the completion of the code in 534. So that gives you a brief summary of what each of the 4 volumes were. Now, here's the impact. What did it do for the Byzantine Empire? The code had limited influence over Western Europe, at least initially. The split between East and West was dramatic, but eventually during the Middle Ages, Byzantine learning began to make its way to Italy, where the code was taught in medieval universities. So it started out in the Byzantine Empire. What did it do? It started to spread. The Justinian Code also had a significant impact on Islamic areas of the Middle East, as it influenced the development of the Muslim law in the Sharia. So that's just a little brief description, explanation, and description of the Justinian Code. So what you're going to do is you're going to come over, you're going to type your name, class period. It will take you into the Google form. You'll answer the questions. Once you finish answering the questions, then you will submit them. Okay. And the questions are for a grade. So if you have questions, like always, please feel free to email me, or if you're in class, go ahead and ask. If not, have an awesome day. Talk to you soon.